Well, he'd been following along with the series. That bus had an overheated engine in it. The block was bad from spun main bearings, so he bought a military surplus engine that has been sitting for 20 years, and we're going to put it in the bus and see if it works. And then we discovered the other day that it had been run with no oil filter in it, and the main bearings don't look so hot on it. As you can see, this bearing here, lots of stuff has gone through there, so we were very concerned about it. So we're going to finish the install on this, and we're going to fire it up and hope that it runs as good as we thought it would.
One of those long bolts there. Right next to that filter. Thank you.
I was getting awful ballsy laying this on the batteries there. Did you forget that's what those were? Other side has a flexible accordion thing. This side does not. Okay, so you need me to bring a bolt down for that?
Yeah.
Just the regular bolt, and then a short, and then cut one a little bit shorter than the original length.
Yeah, and then the box of connectors and stuff.
Okay.
Stepped on them as soon as I seen them. I think it's too long to, I don't know if it's gonna lift it up. It's just a bracket.
Or we can just get it
Yeah,
a little secured on there and then at the front end.
Is that staying in the reservoir or is it flowing through the lines?
Hard to see.
Yeah.
No, it's flowing in the lines.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Circulate.
Yeah, I hope that motor is alright.
We hope so. It should be. Once the fluid got low, it stopped spinning, so it would. It's not. The pump would have been the one to be concerned about with low on fluid.
Yeah. You wanna let it do it?
Yeah, run it with the vice grips. So you set the idle with the vice grips once you get it going. Hey, Merle, can you step that way just a little bit? You're right in front of that camera.
Right in front of what?
There's a camera there.
Oh, I didn't see that. Ready?
Yeah. You know, like almost full fuel to get it to start.
It is full fuel.
Oh, okay.
Should probably close your hatch up top. Otherwise
Yeah.
it's gonna stink forever.
Yeah. All that smoke's going right up into your bus.
Top on there so you can pour it. Good?
Yep. Okay, just let it sit for a minute. I think it's still priming the fuel system on there.
Pinky.
It's turning over a little slow too. We'll next time we'll turn on the 200 amp. Maybe just do no fuel for like 1 second. Something like that.
They are smoking. Wants to.
Yeah, it's there's air in the fuel system.
Couple seconds about it and then give it.
Yeah, probably.
Here, we gotta do more without it. Thinks about it and then just gives up.
Yeah.
We did pre-prime the entire fuel rails on in the engine, so the injectors and everything had fuel, but it's not acting like it's not getting fuel. So we're disconnecting this fuel hose here. This comes right off of the fuel pump. When we turn it over, we should see fuel shoot out of it, and there's no fuel coming out of it. So we got something going on where the fuel pump's not pumping out fuel.
The engine's gonna run, Merle. Don't worry about it.
All right. Okay.
There's a little fork drive on the back of this fuel pump, and we're just going to take it off real quick and make sure that it's in place and there's no damage to it, and that it's doing that it's spinning like it's supposed to and driving the fuel pump.
With that thing.
I'm not fan. I guess I can get my fingers on it. I can just barely touch it. I definitely can't spin it. No, fork looks okay. We manually spun the fuel pump with our finger a whole bunch of times in order to get it to prime, held it down low, and got the fuel line to the fuel pump to get any air out of it. It's only like 6 feet long, and the filter's full of fuel over there on the right. So we got it to prime and put the fuel pump back on, and then we're going to try and start it.
Are these left on or no?
Leave that one off. The other one, I think we left it on. I don't think I turned it off. If you hit the start button, it doesn't turn over.
Good.
So we're good to go.
test for full throttle with the pedal. Yeah, that's all. No, it goes further than that. Take it up to the governor.
Oil pressure on the dash gauge is reading 75 at idle, but that's cold oil right now, but that's a very good sign. This 10W30 is what goes in the hydraulic system. We're just topping it off. Kind of hard. You're good. Go on. That's good. You can go forward now. That's fine, Jonathan. So the bottom half is at 130. That one's 135. So they're only 4 degrees apart between side to side, 4 or 5 degrees. But the gauge inside is reading 200. Luckily, my friend and client Brian has his Wander Lodge stored here. And because that temperature sensor wasn't working, the stud was spinning on the inside, so it was broken. Brian said, I called him and asked him if we could borrow the sensor out of his bus and put it in the other one. And he said, yeah, that's fine, so they could get home with it. And then we're obviously going to put a new one in here to do that. But that was awful nice of Brian to allow us to take the one out of his bus to be able to, so they would have working dash gauges. That's a very important thing. That bus has had 2 engines overheat in it already. We certainly didn't want to have a third one because we didn't have a proper gauge. It was reading 200 degrees when it was really only like 100, so it was way, way off. You're kind of hugging the side a little bit closer over here. There we go. Is it smoking bad or no?
No. I like it too.
How's our oil pressure under load? Are we up about 75?
Don't throttle up very fast. Not very responsive.
looking at the turbo boost. Well, it's going to be down now, but right before it shifted,
Yeah, we're at 5 right now.
should be going up though.
Yeah, it's going up. 10.
Lose your throttle?
Lost the throttle.
Okay, you're going to need to pull over. Maybe in this parking lot up here, if you can roll to it.
Yeah, just died.
Got your hazards on. Try and roll down to a parking spot if you can. Don't brake too much. You're not gonna have any momentum.
Where do you want me to go? That way?
Probably just, yeah, it doesn't matter. Either side. This side there's more room probably. Just we're not blocking the entrance.
Turn it down.
Oh shit. Okay. That's fine, go ahead and stop there.
Well, the engine went into shutdown mode. We didn't know why. It took us about an hour to figure it out. A wire had broken off for the shutdown solenoid on there, and so it was shutting the fuel off to the governor. So we got that fixed and started back up, and we're going to take it back to the shop. We're not getting full fuel right now, so we need to figure out why we're not getting full fuel on the governor. That throttle pedal is very weird too.
And roll, get up and go. Definitely not getting full throttle.
Yeah. Oil pressure running about 75.
Boost.
Oil pressure.
Oil pressure. Yeah, 70. Yeah, 75 right now.
I hear the turbo. What's the boost at?
It's at 5 now.
It's just not getting full fuel. And that throttle pedal moves a quarter of the way before it goes anywhere, and then there's still more movement in it. I'll have you put it back on the pad because it probably doesn't have enough fuel to make it up the hill. It all sounds good though. It's just it's like having very small injectors in there when the injectors can't go to full fuel.
Yeah.
full throttle on the governor here. The throttle cable has an adjustment to be able to pull up the slack. We can get this jam nut loose on here, but this part won't spin. It's seized in there. I don't want to break the throttle cable. So we're taking the mounting bracket that holds the tension on it, and we're kind of elongating the holes so that we can move this back a little bit further so that the throttle cable will be tight and then it'll get full throttle. But the pedal was only doing about 75% throttle, maybe less. And we couldn't adjust it there. So we need a good 1/4 inch more of throttle there. All right, so that's what it was before. And then you pull it back just before it inputs on that throttle. So it's pulling it right there. That's where it needs to be tightened down.
So we used the die grinder here to make those holes bigger. That worked good. This is the next morning. It'll be the first start. It was in the 50s overnight.
All right, I'm gonna start it up. I'm going to, yeah. He can just pull forward, Jonathan. He can pull. You can't hear. The air pressure in the bus for like 120-ish.
Right now it's right 80, but it'll go up.
So that suspension dump light, that's always been on?
Yeah, it's got. That's what I took it to WonderWorks to fix, and they never even looked at it. Sent it right to that other shop as soon as I got there. Like, what the hell?
Oil pressure's running good.
Pressure 75, 78.
And coolant temperature hasn't even probably moved yet.
Yeah, it ain't moved yet.
Clear. Go ahead and get on it here and see if it feels peppier than yesterday.
No. Yeah, it didn't even get up to 5 pounds.
It's shifting. We'll get it on the open road up here.
Yeah, air pressure is up to 110.
What's it at now, boost?
Check it
boost?
10.
Is it going up?
Back down to 8. Get up to like 11.
Yeah, it should be a lot higher than that.
Not good enough. What could be causing that?
I don't know. Exhaust leak?
Yeah. Manifold not on.
Engine temperature?
Temperature hasn't even came up yet. Getting about 100. Yeah, I have no boost whatsoever.
There's no boost?
I mean, 5 pounds. No, nothing.
Still hanging out around 5?
9.
Once it got going, it was climbing this hill, but yeah, it didn't. That boost should be at least 15, if not closer to 20.
Right.
Just turn left. We'll go around the square. Turn left
Okay.
when you have a green light. I thought you were getting ready to go in the red. Okay. Temperature for the engine?
Barely at 100. Turn back this way.
Yeah, we'll head back. What's the engine water temperature at?
It's over 100.
Wow, I can't believe it's that low. I mean, it's cold outside, but, and the fan is in override, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely don't have no.
What's our boost?
7.
There's a throttle delay on it.
Yeah.
So when you go from no throttle to full throttle, it takes about 2 seconds for that to
Yeah.
kick in.
Something happened, position shifting, so that's good.
Yeah.
Somebody coming out?
I just opened it for you.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna try climbing the hill with it.
Yeah, right.
Watch out for that rock. Well, that downshifted good.
Yeah.
It's got plenty of power right here. Stay to the left a little. Let's park in this spot right here. Actually, we got to fill your tires up, don't we? Let's go by the shop.
Yeah, they're pulling that hill good.
Yeah, it did pull the hill good. That's a good sign. I think as it gets warmed up and it gets more use out of it, I think your horsepower is going to come up in it.
Yeah.
Is that a tire
Oh,
warning?
that's for the Jeep signal.
Oh.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun as hell to turn your bus around in here with all this shit going on.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
Thermostats are both opening, so that's good. We're just checking the temperatures on them here, and they're both, each side's running about the same temperature-wise for the coolant. I tightened up the clamps on the turbo up pipes, and that brought his boost up to 14 psi. So we're making progress on that.
Might have blew off before.
Considering we took it on a test drive and parked it, that's not too bad. A couple little drips.
We made one more little adjustment on there too to give it just a little bit more throttle on that. It's not, you're stepping on the pedal and it's not going, it's taking a little bit before it starts actually moving. Those gauges are definitely hard to read. That cluster, the way it's centered on there with the steering wheel and stuff, it's hard to read them. But it seems like when I was asking him what a readout was, it took like 2 or 3 seconds per thing to locate it and then tell me what the reading was. Hopefully he'll get a lot quicker with that and notice it and pay attention to it. He was in a big hurry to get this back. I would have loved to have had it for a few more days to go through it, and I wanted to add some warning lights and a shutdown for over temperature and low oil pressure, because none of that stuff works. But he's going to drive it home. Hopefully he'll get that stuff sorted out in the future, so we're hoping he's going to make it without that being an issue. Well, they are back on their way home. Like I said, the boost is up to 14 psi on it. They stopped at their first fuel stop, checked everything out. Everything looked good, fueled up. They went to move out of the fuel lane, and the bus wouldn't go into gear. It would just stay into neutral. So he called me, and excuse me, it's a 740 electronic. I didn't really have any good ideas on how to fix what was going on with that, but I said, why don't you, we didn't take the transmission out, but that other shop had it out before. So I said, maybe reach under there and jiggle the wires that go into the transmission. And he did that, and then it shifted into gear. So there must be a loose connection or something down there, or there's a bad ground or something, who knows. But it then, after jiggling it, it shifted into gear, and they were able to hit the road again. So I think they've got like 700-800 miles to go. So I haven't heard from them in a few hours, so they're several hours down the road. So I'll report back, and we'll see how it goes.
You can see that white smoke rising up the holler through the trees. And from a mile away, you can hear them play as they climb that hill with ease. But at the top of that mountain, there's a new life waiting for those who can make the run. If they can make it to the top, Scott will put them in the shop till their new life has begun. Bus Grease Mountain, where the buses come to run. Bus Grease Mountain, we're gonna get that big job done.